All right, so what's happening on the left? It's very exciting, Matt.
What's happening on the left?
Yes, yeah. There is rumblings of a new political party. Way.
Oh, not again.
What a novel idea, a new political party. So, well, what you've got is you've got 5 independent MPs called the Independent Alliance, headed up by Jeremy Corbyn. They were all elected in 2024, partly on a pro-Palestine backing. The 4 other ones were Jeremy Corbyn. It was obviously a mixture of stuff, but on top of that, you've got a number of Labour MPs who've been suspended from the whip: John McDonnell, Absana Bergam, and Zara Sultana. On top of that, you've got ones that were suspended at the same time, but have now had it brought back: Richard Bergen, Ian Bryan, Imran Hussain, and Rebecca Long-Bailey. I mean, some of these are big. Rebecca Long-Bailey, John McDonnell, and Jeremy Corbyn are obviously big people from the Labour Party. Yeah, I'm glad you're keeping count. Let's keep going.
7. I think you said it was 5.
No, we've already covered the 5. We've got 5 on top of those 7.
Oh, great. We're almost in power.
You've got 12 or something. On top of that, you've got people who've been thrown under the bus by the Labour Party: Claudia Webb, Jamie Driscoll, who used to be the mayor of Newcastle, but then he wanted to be the mayor of North Tyneside, which is like a new mayoral district or whatever. But Starmer wouldn't let him run because he said something cheeky. I mean, the thing about Driscoll was I don't really know his politics. It does appear that his politics are more left than you would imagine. But he was one of those people that was quite happy to toe the line. But even that wasn't enough because he wasn't quite enamored enough with the Starmer regime. So he wasn't allowed to run, even though he was already mayor and very popular. So he ran a campaign as an independent. He didn't win, but they raised a lot of money. And so this is the other thing. What you have is you have people that have been kicked out by Starmer's Labour Party. Some of them are still MPs as independents. Some of them are not, but they've run very successful campaigns and almost won. And they've got some money behind them. So Jamie Driscoll has started a thing called Majority, where he's been doing campaigning, running off the back of the money that he raised for the campaign. He's been doing these large events. And he's not alone. There have been these huge, like Corbyn-style events, sometimes featuring Corbyn, but where lots of people have been getting together, particularly in places like London and Liverpool, but not only those places, up and down the country. And they've got names like, Resist and Unite and stuff like that. And they're all kind of just, they're just sort of political meetings, but on a scale that you didn't see probably before 2015. And you didn't really see after that, unless it was within the Labour Party. But now you're seeing these kind of people coming together, loose affiliations of groups. We're talking about some of the big left-wing kind of political parties / kind of media organizations. Lots of different groups coming together. And there's a real kind of just want for there to be some kind of nationally organized party that can direct all of this kind of anger and energy and stuff. And so then you've got like a list of actual kind of parties on top of all this. You've got Transform, which was a party that started up pretty soon after Corbyn left. It hasn't been very successful. I don't really know who started it. I imagine it was some people that were from Momentum, but I don't know. And I think it's definitely former Labour members, younger ones as well. It's a more millennial thing. It hasn't really worked out very much. But then you've got Reliance, you've got Aspire, which had some success in Tower Hamlets, and then you've got this thing called Assemble, which is kind of like, it reminds me very much of the XR model of having, I don't know if you remember in 2019, there was up and down the country, they did a lot of climate hustings. They tried, and they even had one nationally on Channel 4, and I think Boris Johnson didn't come, so they had an ice sculpture of Boris Johnson melting. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
But they basically, Assemble have taken this model of having kind of open forums, and you organize it in a town, and everybody can come and they can just discuss issues. And this is this idea of having like a kind of open assembly, I think is what it's called, as a kind of way of trying to have a power that's against power. There's all this stuff going on. You've got meetings, open assemblies, parties, MPs, and nobody really knows how to bring it together. There is a small clique of former Corbyn staffers who have been desperately trying to work out how they would start a party, and it's all being done like really secretively and top down, and they want to harness the power of all of this disparate group of like people all around the country doing their own things. So it's difficult because in a way, this stuff, it's come from the grassroots, it's come from the ground up. And what they're attempting to do is form a leadership from the top and meet somewhere in the middle.
Right.
And that, I think, is what's proving the problem. Also, just because they're left wing, they're just fucking planning too much. This is the thing. Like, I mean, life. Let's say, Holy Grail, best British film ever made. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Life of Brian, also very good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Life of Brian, they have the great thing about the whatever they're called, the People's Front.
People's Frontage, yeah.
And one of the jokes, every scene that they're in is absolutely fantastic. But one of the scenes is like, let's stop hanging around. Let's go out. Let's do something. We shouldn't be a talking shop. We should get out there and do. And then someone comes in and goes, "They've just arrested Brian. Right, this calls for an immediate meeting." Right, start and then back to And I think that's funny because of all sorts of reasons. But there is a specific thing about the left planning too much, partly because of a kind of idea of of democratic buy-in, of wanting an agreement over something before you do it. And so at the moment, for over a year now, I think they've been having these secret meetings thinking, how are we going to launch? What should the party look like? What should the policies be? What should the structure be democratically and all that kind of stuff? And it's like, what they want to do is plan for every eventuality, and then they'll have something in place for what happens. In reality, what will happen is that they'll start the party and things will change, and it'll be an eventuality they hadn't expected, and they'll have to rapidly. And it's like, what you do, it's like what Nigel Farage does is he just fucking starts a party. He gives it a shit name, and then he calls a conference.
Exactly.
And then there's that great quote. Who was it? It was not Rumsfeld or just one of those dicks from Bush talking about the reality-based community.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, we create reality. And you just study it.
Yeah.
Karl Rove, yeah. And that's really what the left does. It studies reality rather than creating it. Having said that, just having waited so long to create a party, things have come full circle again, and now is a really good time because what's going on in Iran is so unpopular. And all of the political parties, including Reform, will be behind it because Reform are very much behind the US administration and particularly Trump. That it is a good time to launch an anti-war, anti-interventionist left-wing party. Probably worth having a discussion about, a lengthy discussion. That's what they should do.
Yeah, throw that into the mix. Make that part of your plans.